I was born into a unique Pakistani family. My dad is a CA gold medalist, outstanding academics, and my mom, a backbencher. My dad is all about climbing the corporate ladder, power and higher designations. My mom, on the other hand, is a very meditative, relaxed, Master Shifu kind of person. My dad will think of you a failure if your stack of SAT prep books isn't taller than you by the time you graduate. Okay, let's do a quick show of hands. How many of you have a strict or competitive dad? Quite a lot of you, right? But no one can beat my dad. I don't think I'll ever forget that day. I got a 97% on my calculus final exam after weeks of studying. But my dad was so mad. He was like, "Why 97? Why didn't you get 100? You should have studied more. Even your cousin got a 99 on that exam." Such a disappointment to the family name, right? And my mom, when she saw my score, she gave me a weird look. She was like, "Why did you study so much? You could have done something productive in this time, like yoga." My mom and dad have really different perspectives, but they get along well with each other. It works for them, my dad earning the money, and my mom meditating while traveling around the world. My mom prefers to live a simple lifestyle in a small home, so she can explore the world from far East Asia to the jungles in Africa, trying different cuisines, meeting different people, learning different cultures. While her friends were living in big mansions, driving BMWs and Mercedes, you would find my mom backpacking in Thailand, skydiving in Montreal, or taking pictures with tigers in Zimbabwe. Now, if I were to ask you, who is more successful? My dad, director or CEO of a big corporate, or my mom, working a couple of days a week at her clinic and doing what pleases her? Having this wonderful contrast in my house taught me something amazing about success. Success is a balance, and it turns into failure, a big disaster when the balance is out. I want to tell you a story about my uncle. He's a good friend of my father's, and I found his story to be a real eye-opener. When he was in high school, he was a very competitive student, president of 3 clubs, part of many extracurriculars, and phenomenal grades. All this because his biggest goal was to get into Harvard. Getting into Harvard was a great success for him. Now, hyper-focused on success, he started creating more stress and less fulfillment. Less sleep, more fatigue and poor health. He was missing family time and distancing with friends. A life with no balance. But he got into Harvard, his dream school. His wish came true, and he reached his highest goal. He was successful, right? But no, he was not. The novelty of his success wore away in a few months, and he started to think that he would only be happy. He would only be successful if he gets into a Big 4 or if he becomes a corporate giant. And it didn't stop there. Next, he wanted a big house by the riverside, or if only he could have multiple cars parked in his garage, he would finally be happy. His success was only associated with material, but even after social status, power, and wealth, he was still not content, still not fulfilled. The higher he reached, the more he wanted. I remember the other day when we went to his house for a grand party, I saw a strange contrast. His home was less of a house and more of a mansion. Glass walls, water fountains, beautiful cars. I was mesmerized. But I noticed that while all the guests were enjoying the exotic food, my uncle was quite literally served a hospital meal. All that stress, all that empire building had taken a toll on him. Isn't that strange? He had amazing food to eat right in front of him, but he wasn't able to enjoy it. In the whole process of chasing success, he lost the balance, and he lost his present. I remember when I was in high school, I was almost caught up in the success cycle. Everyone had told me about how competitive college admissions is, and that if I want to be successful, I have to get into a good college. I was really apprehensive of how my grades and high school activities were going to affect my future. I was willing to sacrifice everything, but that didn't happen. Remember my mom and her holistic philosophies? She really didn't like the concept of me spending my childhood boxed up in a room behind a desk for 7 hours a day. She decided to homeschool me, so I'd do something more productive, like yoga. So there I was, enrolled at a charter school and Mission College at the same time. I didn't realize at the time, but this turned out to be a really great decision. Unlike most high schoolers, school for me was really relaxed and really productive. I only had 3 to 5 hours of schoolwork a day, and that included everything: my assignments, my exams, and of course, my frequent trips to the refrigerator. I would do all my schoolwork wearing my Tom and Jerry pajamas, and I was sleeping 10 hours at night, while my poor brother in 7th grade in a traditional school had trouble sleeping due to the anxiety of good grades and work stress. I was getting outstanding grades, lots of sports, lots of volunteering, and lots of networking. Everything was just perfect. But then something happened that changed my life and my perspective of success completely. It all began when I visited my grandparents in Pakistan. My grandparents live in an affluent, posh area. The houses nearby are all inhabited by wealthy families. What shocked me was that less than a 15-minute walk away from this beautiful area with big homes and gardens was a not-so-beautiful area. The people here were poor. They lived in small tents. Food was scarce. There was no water, no bathrooms. I came across children so hungry, they were rummaging through piles of garbage, trying to find something to eat. I was really disturbed to see this. How could there be such a big wealth gap that on one side you see so much affluence, and on the other side, poverty below the line? I was really shocked to see all of this. It felt as if I'd been slapped in the face. I began to question, how is it fair? How is it fair that I was fortunate enough to be born with so many privileges? Food to eat, a roof over my head, education. And in other parts of the world, there are children just like me, but they're poor, they're hungry, and they're vulnerable. I went home that day with a new realization, extremely determined and motivated that I would do something for them. But I didn't know where and how to begin, where to find the funding and the resources. Now, remember my mom and dad and their different perspectives of success? My dad taught me ambition and determination, and my mom, she taught me compassion and self-worth. And that enabled me to launch my business when I was 14 years old. I started my Leadership and Sports Academy so I could raise funds to help these children. In the last 3 years, I have mentored hundreds of children and teenagers, motivating them to have a more active lifestyle and to bring change within themselves and in their communities. I conducted yoga and gymnastics classes. I taught rollerblading and leadership. On one hand, I was pleased to be making a difference in the lives of our youth, and on the other hand, I was able to earn enough to start my own foundation. I am very humbled to tell you that in a short time, I was able to sponsor the education of orphans, arrange food for the hungry, purchase medical supplies and equipment for the prevention of blindness. And all of this changed my perspective of success. Success alone was not enough to bring contentment. And all of this only happened when I began to look and live beyond my home, beyond my life, and beyond my own success. In my pursuit of success, I learned that I should not let success limit me, but I should use success as a means, as a stepping stone to bring change, to solve one of the many problems our world faces today. Everyone in this hall, all of us, so fortunate, so privileged, but we need to use these privileges to benefit others. We need to change the reason behind why we pursue success. Stop desiring that college degree just because it will make you successful. Become a doctor, not because it will make you rich, but so that you can cure others. Become an engineer, not because it will make you wealthy, but so that you can offer your skill set to your community. Become an investor, not because it will make you a millionaire, but so that you can provide for 1 million others. We need to go beyond success. We need to change our mindsets from consumption to contribution. And it's only then that we shall taste the sweetness of true success. Thank you.